years ago in 2011, I worked my ass off besides school to buy a PS Vita on release. I never really used it because Sony broke my trust back then with the PS Vita. Just a few days ago I went on a road trip with my girlfriend's family to Innsbruck and I wanted to play Dino Crisis for the PS1 on the way. My goal was to travel very light, so I dusted off my PS Vita and checked if I could get my backups onto the thing. I totally forgot about the built-in cameras and the now nostalgic vibe of its quality, so I thought why not film a bit of the road trip on my PS Vita in 2024. Back in 2011, most of my gaming time was spent on handhelds because TV time was strictly regulated and I didn't have my own room. So the only option was to grab the skateboard and head out. In my backpack, my PSP, my Yu-Gi-Oh cards and my comics. It was a great time. And yeah, the trip kind of reminded me of a lot of things I felt back then and how magical I imagined the future to be, how realistic will graphics get, what kind of wild devices will we use in 10 years and how will my future house look like. Two of those came true, I guess. So yeah, back then I read in a gaming magazine about the PS Vita. It was a Sony handheld designed to deliver console level quality close to the PS3's gaming experience on the go. And a gorgeous OLED display. Back then I had no clue what that actually meant. Dual analog sticks and innovative touch controls on the back and stuff. So it sounded like the future of gaming to me. Sadly, the reality was a lackluster game library that underutilized its full potential and specific overpriced Vita memory cards. It felt like Sony didn't understand what we actually wanted from the thing and delivered it anyway. On the trip, we stopped at Crystal World, a Swarovski theme park. So I had many opportunities to film a lot of awesome stuff with the Vita camera. I really had fun with the limitations of the Vita's camera feature, but I kind of felt like a few more options to, I don't know, to zoom or other basics would be nice to have. But as I love to say, limitations make creative. Which is ironic because the PS Vita performance had next to none for like back in the day. I think it could have even implemented a little video editor or something. I didn't own a camera back then in 2011 or a PC, so I couldn't edit any videos. Also my phone couldn't access the internet and stuff. So making and uploading videos from the Vita via my city library's internet onto YouTube or something like that would have been so awesome. But hey, oh man, I'm still so fucking salty about all the missed opportunities and the potential. Recurring theme with Sony, in my opinion. You just have to look at the many mascots they underutilized and like left on the side of the road. And yeah, I worked through screaming customers on weekends to buy the fucking thing on release day, to play one bad $30 Vita game with a 5-hour campaign on it and replay old PSP games I had digitally on the store. I thought that can't be true. Surely they will soon drop games that really utilize the Vita's performance and such. They didn't. They didn't. Sony was until that day a company of innovation for me, but they just dropped the whole handheld generation and left it to the indie devs to save it. What the fuck, Sony? Apparently they dropped the PS Vita like a dead potato because it didn't sell well. Well, I have to say they didn't give me a reason to spend my hard-earned money either, which was the actual problem. Sony actually had a big plans for it, like for the PSP, but they underutilized the device due to one factor they didn't see coming: the rise of smartphones in the 2010s. All digital app stores and the high development costs of, like I mentioned, the Vita specific memory cards and game cartridges. Yeah, and Sony shifted quickly their focus to adjust to the new environment, with the PS Vita being a collateral damage. And after 2011, somehow Sony repeated their out-of-touch behavior on many more incidences, like the PS1 Classic, the PS Portal, ... whatever. The PS5 was hard to get, and to this day, after 4 years on a 6-year life cycle, its lackluster library repeats the PS Vita's story like a joke. It's not that difficult to give the players what they want. A lesson the big boys in the gaming industry really have to learn, in my opinion.